Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something you desperately need to hear, but that almost no one has the courage to tell you. Your self-pity, that warm, soggy blanket you wrap yourself in every time things get difficult, is not a comfort, it is a cage. It is a neurological prison you are building, synapse by synapse, inside your own brain. And you are both the architect and the warden. I am not here to coddle you. I am here to perform a verbal intervention, to grab you by the shoulders and scream into the face of that weak, sniveling part of your psyche that you've allowed to take the driver's seat. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. It is the most toxic, addictive, and performance-enhancing drug for failure ever created. Now lean in and listen, because we are going to talk science. Real, hard, undeniable science. That voice in your head, the one that whines, "Why me?" when you face a setback, that complains about your unfair boss, your lack of resources, your bad luck. That voice is not just a thought. It is a physical pathway in your brain. It's a riverbed of negativity that you have carved out with the constant flow of your own complaints. Every time you indulge in a moment of self-pity, you are not just having a bad moment, you are laying down a layer of neurological concrete, making it easier for that thought to travel the next time and harder for a positive, solution-oriented thought to find a path. You are quite literally building a brain that is optimized for victimhood. Your brain's ability to change is not just for good habits, it's for building super highways of self-sabotage if you're not careful. You are digging a grave for your own potential with every "it's not fair," and you're shocked when you find yourself standing at the bottom. I want you to think about a real-life example. Imagine two people who both lose their jobs on the same day. The first one goes home, cracks open a beer and spirals. The economy is terrible. My boss never likes me. This industry is doomed. I'm too old. No one will hire me. They call their friends, not for leads, but for sympathy. They post vague, melancholy status updates on social media, fishing for validation of their misery. A week goes by, then a month. Their resume is untouched. Their confidence is shattered. They have become a monument to their own misfortune. Now the second person, they get the same news, it hurts, it's a gut punch. They might even go home and have that beer, but the next morning at 5 a.m. they make a choice. A conscious, difficult, painful choice. They silence the voice that says, "Why me?" and they ask a different, far more powerful question. What's next? They don't have the luxury of wallowing. They update their resume, they start cold calling, they network. They see this not as a verdict on their worth, but as a forced redirection. A year later, where are they? The first person is still talking about the job they lost. A year older, a year more bitter, their skills a year more obsolete. The second person, they've often found a better position, started a business, or pivoted into a more fulfilling field. The event was identical. The outcome was determined by one thing and one thing only: their refusal to engage in the seductive, soul-destroying practice of self-pity. This isn't positive thinking. This is biological warfare on your own limbic system. When you choose action over inaction, even tiny microscopic actions, you send a surge of empowering neurochemicals through your brain, dopamine, norepinephrine. You signal to your entire organism that you are in control. You are the causal force in your life. Self-pity, on the other hand, is a physiological collapse. It floods your system with cortisol and adrenaline, keeping you in a low-grade state of fight or flight, but with no enemy to fight and nowhere to run. You are just marinating in your own stress hormones. You become a passive observer of your own demise, commenting on the tragedy of your life from the cheap seats, instead of getting down on the field and getting your uniform dirty. Let me be brutally clear. The world does not care about your sob story. The universe is indifferent to your complaints. Your bills don't care if you're depressed. Your dreams don't care if you had a tough childhood. Your potential doesn't care that you were wronged. It is waiting patiently for you to get over yourself and get to work. And this idea that you need to heal your past before you can have a future is often the greatest lie your brain tells you to keep you safe, sedentary, and sorry for yourself. Action is the most profound therapy there is. Achievement is the antidote to pain. You don't think your way into right action, you act your way into right thinking. I see it in the labs, I see it in the clinical data. The patients who beat the odds, who survive against all predictions, are rarely the ones who feel the most sorry for themselves. They are the ones who, faced with a terrifying diagnosis, say, okay, what's the plan? What do I control? What can I do today? They focus on their nutrition, their medication schedule, their minute of daily exercise. They become active participants in their own survival. They refuse the victim identity, even when fate has dealt them the worst possible hand, because they understand on a primal level that surrender is not just a mental state, it's a physical one. It weakens the immune system, it shuts down cellular repair, it prepares the body for the end. To feel sorry for yourself in the face of a challenge is to begin the process of dying before your time. So what is the mechanism? How do you surgically remove this cancer from your psyche? It starts with brutal, unflinching self-awareness. You must become a watcher of your own thoughts. The moment you hear that whining, complaining, victim voice pipe up, you must pounce on it like a predator. You don't negotiate with it, you don't reason with it, you annihilate it with a better question. Replace "why is this happening to me?" with "what does this make possible?" Replace "I can't because" with "how can I?" This is not a one-time event, this is the daily, hourly, moment-by-moment discipline. It is the discipline of the elite. It is the price of admission for an extraordinary life. You have to understand that your current circumstances, no matter how dire, are simply data. They are feedback. They are not your identity. You are not your failed business. You are not your broken relationship. You are not your bank account. You are the consciousness that is experiencing these things, and you have the power to choose your response. And when you choose a response of relentless, forward-moving action, no matter how small, you are not just changing your circumstance, you are fundamentally altering the physical architecture of your brain. You are forging new pathways of resilience, of capability, of power. You are building a brain that sees obstacles as fuel. You are evolving into a different species of human being. You are building a brain that doesn't recognize the word impossible as a stop sign, but as a mere suggestion to find another way. This is your new reality. That mountain of problems in front of you, it's not there to block your path. It's there to be climbed. And the climb itself is what will make you strong enough to stand on the summit. The struggle is not the enemy of success. It is the raw material. Your self-pity is the refusal to pick up the tools and start building. Let me give you another example, one from the very fabric of human history. Look at the individuals who have shaped our world, who have left indelible marks on humanity. Do you think for 1 second that they were immune to hardship? That they were somehow spared the gut-wrenching failures, the betrayals, the moments of absolute despair? The difference is not that they didn't feel pain. The difference is that they did not institutionalize their pain. They did not build a shrine to their suffering and demand that the world come and worship at it. They used it. They took that pain and they transmuted it into purpose. They channeled that energy of why me into the unstoppable force of watch me. Think of a sculptor. He has a block of granite. It's hard, unyielding, cold. A mediocre sculptor might look at it and complain. This stone is too difficult. It has flaws. It's not what I ordered. He might give up, or he might produce something weak and uninspired. But a master sculptor, he sees the same block of granite and he gets excited. He sees the challenge. He sees the resistance, not as a barrier, but as the very thing that will give his creation its strength, its definition, its lasting power. He understands that the resistance is the path. Your problems, your setbacks, your heartbreaks, they are your block of granite. You can either complain about how heavy it is, or you can start chiseling. You can start creating a masterpiece out of the very mess you're in. This is about your personal legacy. What story will you tell yourself in 10 years? Will it be the epic tale of how you faced down your demons? How you stared into the abyss of your own potential and refused to blink? Or will it be a pathetic, rambling monologue of excuses, a list of reasons why you couldn't, shouldn't, didn't? The story is being written right now with every single choice you make. When you hit the snooze button instead of hitting the gym, you are writing a sentence in that story. When you scroll mindlessly through social media instead of working on your plan, you are writing a paragraph. When you choose to complain to a colleague instead of offering a solution, you are writing a chapter of mediocrity. You are the author. The pen is in your hand. And the moment you stop feeling sorry for yourself is the moment the plot twists from tragedy to triumph. I want you to think about your physiology right now, your posture. When you are locked in self-pity, what does your body do? You slump. Your shoulders roll forward. Your head drops. Your gaze falls to the floor. You are physically making yourself smaller, trying to disappear from the world you feel is attacking you. It's a posture of defeat. Now, I want you to change it. Right here, right now. Sit up straight. Pull your shoulders back. Lift your chin. Look at the horizon. Take a deep, powerful breath into your diaphragm. Feel that? In that simple physical act, you have just sent a torrent of biochemical signals to your brain. You have just told your nervous system, I am not prey. I am a predator. I am in command. You cannot feel sorry for yourself in a power posture. It is a physiological impossibility. Your mind follows your body. So if you want to change your mind, start by changing your body. Move, act, stand tall. The feeling will follow. This is the ultimate hack. The feedback loop between your body and your brain is your greatest weapon. Don't wait to feel motivated to act. Act, and let the action create the motivation. Don't wait to feel confident to start that business, to ask for that raise, to have that difficult conversation. Act with courage, and the confidence will be the residue of your action. You are waiting for the feeling, but the feeling is the reward for the doing. This is the fundamental misunderstanding that keeps millions of people trapped in a cycle of self-pity and inaction. They believe the engine of their life is their emotional state. They believe they must feel good before they can do good. It is a lie. Your emotional state is the caboose, not the engine. The engine is your purposeful, disciplined, and often uncomfortable action. Hook your caboose to that engine and watch the entire train move forward, regardless of how the caboose is feeling about it. So what is your plan? What is the very first, tiny, almost insignificant action you will take the moment you leave this room to break the chain of self-pity? It doesn't have to be monumental. It has to be decisive. Could be deleting the social media apps from your phone for a week. Could be writing one single email you've been avoiding. It could be making one phone call you've been dreading. It could be going for a 15-minute walk instead of watching Netflix. It is a single brick. And tomorrow you will lay another one, and another. And before you know it, you will have built a fortress of discipline and achievement so strong that the whispers of self-pity will be nothing more than a faint, forgotten echo from a past life. You will look back at the person you were, the person who felt sorry for themselves, and you will not even recognize them. You will have evolved. You will have crossed a threshold from which there is no return, because you will have tasted the intoxicating power of being the cause in your own life, not the effect. You will have learned the secret that the greatest prison you will ever live in is the one you build in your own mind, and you alone hold the key. This is not a metaphor. This is the literal, electrochemical truth of your existence. Your focus is your reality. If you focus on your limitations, your past failures, the injustices you've suffered, that is the world you will inhabit, a world painted in the gray, muted tones of resentment and regret. But if you focus on your agency, on the next step, on the solution, on the sheer, raw power you have to respond to any circumstance, you will inhabit a world of vibrant color and possibility. You choose your focus, and in doing so, you choose your world. Let's talk about time, the most precious currency you have, and the one you are squandering with every minute you spend in the quicksand of self-pity. That energy you expend on crafting the perfect internal monologue about your struggles, on rehearsing your story of woe to tell anyone who will listen, that is not free. It is being deducted directly from the account of your potential. Every second spent in that state is a second you are not investing in building, creating, connecting, or healing. It is a withdrawal with no return. You are stealing from your own future. Think of the most successful, fulfilled people you know or know of. Do you think they have time for this? Do you think they have a standing appointment in their calendar to sit and contemplate how hard things are? Fire. They are too busy building their empire, too engrossed in the creative act of shaping their reality. Their focus is so far forward, on the horizon of what is possible that they simply don't have the bandwidth to look down at the mud at their feet. You must become so consumed by your mission, so obsessed with your purpose, that self-pity becomes an unaffordable luxury, a distraction you can no longer entertain. This is the final piece of the puzzle. You must attach your effort to a purpose that is bigger than your feelings, your own comfort, your own temporary happiness is too small a reason to keep going when things get truly difficult. It will collapse under the weight of adversity. But a purpose that is larger than you, providing a life of opportunity for your children, creating something that lifts up your community, leaving a dent in the universe that would not have been there without you, that purpose is unshakable. It becomes the anchor in the storm. When you are working for something greater than yourself, a bad day becomes a minor inconvenience, not a cosmic tragedy. A failure becomes a data point, not an identity. Your personal feelings of being wronged or slighted become irrelevant in the face of a mission that demands your focus and your energy. So I want you to leave here today and do one thing. I want you to declare war on the part of yourself that wants to quit. I want you to make a list, not of your goals, but of your excuses. Write down every single reason you have told yourself about why you can't have what you want. Look at them. Stare at them. See them for what they are. Not truths, but choices. You are choosing to believe those excuses. Now, I want you to take that list and I want you to burn it, literally. Set it on fire and watch it turn to ash. That is a funeral for your old self. That is a ritual to mark the end of that era. From this moment forward, you are someone new. You are someone who understands that the universe is not here to give you what you want. It is here to respond to what you demand through your unrelenting action and unwavering belief. You are not a leaf blown by the wind of circumstance. You are the wind. You are the storm. You are the force of nature that obstacles fear. Stop asking for permission. Stop waiting for the perfect conditions. Stop apologizing for your ambition. The world is waiting for you to show up, not as a victim of your past, but as the architect of your future. So get out of your own way, get to work, and build a life so extraordinary that the person you used to feel sorry for is nothing but a distant, fading memory. Look, the transformation I am talking about is not a destination you arrive at one day, plaque in hand, mission accomplished. It is a continuous daily recommitment. It is the grit in your eye at 5 in the morning when you choose to run over the pillow. It is the fire in your gut when you choose to make one more call after a dozen rejections. It is the quiet dignity you summon when you respond to a setback, not with a curse, but with a calm, determined analysis of what went wrong and how to fix it. This is the fabric of a life of power. It is woven in these tiny, invisible moments of choice. Do not misunderstand me. This is not about becoming emotionally numb. It is about becoming emotionally intelligent in the most profound sense. It is about recognizing that emotions like frustration, disappointment, and anger are not stop signs. They are data. They are fuel. Frustration is a signal that your current approach is not working, and it contains the energy to pivot. Disappointment is the shadow cast by a deeply held value. It shows you what you truly care about, and that care can be channeled into more effective action. Anger is a potent, raw power that can be harnessed to break through barriers that patience alone cannot dissolve. The self-pitier feels these emotions and becomes their slave, wallowing in them, letting them dictate a narrative of helplessness. The master feels these same exact emotions and becomes their alchemist, transmuting their base energy into the gold of focused, relentless purpose. Look at the very cells in your body. When you stress a muscle through exercise, you create microscopic tears. The body does not sit and weep over this damage. It does not feel sorry for the muscle fiber. It immediately gets to work using the stress, the breakdown, as the essential trigger for repair and, crucially, for overcompensation. It rebuilds the muscle stronger than it was before, ready for a greater challenge. This is the fundamental law of growth, written into your very biology. You are designed to use stress, to use breakdown as the catalyst for a breakthrough. Your mental and emotional world operates on the exact same principle. The setbacks, the failures, the rejections, they are the stress that creates the microscopic tears in your complacency. You can either sit and nurse the wound, telling everyone who will listen how much it hurts, or you can initiate the repair process. You can feed your mind with new knowledge, your spirit with new disciplines, and your life with new actions. And you will rebuild yourself stronger, more resilient, and more capable than you were before the injury. To avoid stress is to avoid growth. To resent failure is to resent the very mechanism of your own evolution. I want you to imagine your mind as a pristine, high-performance vehicle. Self-pity is not just a bad tank of gas. It is sugar in the gas tank. It doesn't just slow you down. It seizes the engine. It corrodes the components from the inside out. It turns a machine built for speed and power into a useless, broken-down heap. And every time you indulge in a thought of, I can't, or it's not fair, you are pouring another spoonful of that corrosive substance into your own cognitive fuel line. The antidote is to flush the system. And the flush is a relentless torrent of action. It is the cognitive equivalent of pouring a high-octane purified fuel into that tank and turning the key, trusting that the engine, though it may sputter at first, is designed to roar back to life. This is your charge. This is your responsibility. Not to your family, not to your friends, not to me. Your responsibility, the spark of potential that the universe saw fit to entrust to you. That potential is a sacred debt. And you pay it down not with good intentions, but with brutal, uncompromising execution. Every day you spend in self-pity is a day you are in default on that debt. The interest compounds in the form of regret, and it is a debt that will eventually come due. You'll have to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of your days and account for what you did with the gift of your life. Did you build a monument, or did you build a museum dedicated to your own grievances? So starting now, the language of victimhood is a language you no longer speak. It is a dead language. Your new vocabulary consists of words like ownership, response, initiative, discipline, and relentlessness. When the old script starts to play in your mind, you will not listen. You will shout it down with the roar of your own agency. You will look at the mountain not as an obstacle, but as the raw material for your legacy. You will pick up your tools, your will, your focus, your courage, and you will start to climb. And with every step, you will feel the weak, sorry-for-self version of you fading away, replaced by the person you were always meant to be. Unstoppable, powerful, and finally, gloriously, free.